now from Maine's first television station. This is WABI News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Monday, February the 23rd, 2026. Here's a look at current conditions in both Bangor and Augusta on this oh-so-snowy first alert day. Snowy, windy. That's why we begin the show with a look outside and with Kurt. Kurt, what are we dealing with right now?
Yeah, pretty much what you're seeing out there right now is what you've got. You've got some snowfall coming down. You've got the gusty winds, and it's really the winds that have been the most problematic today, and they're going to remain on the stronger side here through the first part of the night, but we're still talking some additional snowfall reports from around the region. So hardest hit from this nor'easter has been southern New England, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. They're measuring snowfall there in feet. Here's a few of some of those reports. Just updated Warwick, Rhode Island's report. 3 feet, just over 3 feet of snow there. North Kingstown, 35 inches. Plymouth, Massachusetts, 20 inches here. And a few new reports coming in from around Maine. Goodwin's Mill in southern Maine reporting just over a foot of snow there. Jonesport getting some conflicting reports. Some spots have reported about 6 inches of snowfall. There have been some areas that have also reported closer to a foot. Now, with the winds out there, that is going to make it extremely difficult to get any accurate measurements. So here is the center of that low. It's actually shifted about 50 miles a little bit farther east than what we originally expected, and that is going to bring down snowfall numbers a bit more for some northern and western locations, but there's still some periods of moderate to heavy snowfall focused right along the coast here at this point in time, and it is going to start to pinwheel its way closer to the interstate over the next couple of hours. So big takeaway here is you may think it's not bad right now. Give it another hour or two. That snowfall intensity, at least for those along south and east of the interstate, that snowfall intensity is going to be ramping up. You're going to hang on to those winds. So conditions still pretty messy with limited visibility and potentially near blizzard conditions for coastal communities. So probably some of the heaviest snowfall right now through parts of coastal Washington County. A little bit of a potential lull around Bangor, a little gap in some of that snowfall, but it does fill back on in. And then some far now northern and western areas, you've been kind of avoiding the snow for most of the day. It is filling in there, but for a lot of northern and western locations, you're looking to be on the outer fringes of this snowfall. So we're not done. We will continue at least through the first half of the night with this snowfall. I think for most of us by midnight we're done. Maybe some still down east areas holding on to some additional snowfall until after midnight, but storm total numbers, well, those will be lowest in the north and west, highest for some coastal down east areas. We'll talk more details, including a better look at the winds. Emily's going to have you a better idea of what to expect with that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Snow has been coming down now for several hours here in Augusta, starting at about 11:30 this morning. It's not that pretty, peaceful kind of snow. It's the snow that's coming at you sideways due to the wind, which is having an impact on the temperature, but also having an impact on power outages that we're seeing throughout the state. CMP has reported about 1,400 outages in their service area. They said that they took the weekend to prepare for today's storm and also staffed extra crews to deal with potential outages. But they're also stressing safety in general, tips for those in preparing for any outages. They suggest charging any devices that you might need throughout the day. Also, take your flashlights out because you don't want to be fishing around in your closet in the dark.
The other two things I want to mention are if you do have to go out today to travel in this weather and you do see our crews working, please drive carefully near them. We know that there are treacherous driving conditions expected throughout the state for a period of time today. So please use caution, especially if you see any working crews out there. Drive carefully around them as they work. The last thing I want to say is just it's a reminder we give people every day, all the time, but please stay away from any down power lines that are out there. They are unsafe for people who are not trained how to handle them.
CMP adds that they are immediately notified when and if you do lose power. There is an outage list that they regularly update on their website. Jack McGuire is in Bangor with a current look at the conditions up north. Jack, what's it like in the Queen City?
Thanks, Kenan. Yeah, these conditions don't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Obviously, it started late this morning, and it hasn't stopped since. It's been coming down. And it's not the snow that's really what's bad. It's the wind that's making the conditions so much worse. As you can probably tell, we're getting a nice little exfoliation treatment right now. I can't really feel my face, but if you look behind me, the wind gusts are just ripping across the river, right? You see Brewer on the other side. It's coming down. The wind's very bad. And no, this is not Chicago. This is not the Windy City. This is Brewer, Maine, Bangor, Maine. And that takes me to the roads, right? The streets right now are a mess. It's very slushy and very slick. So if you are out on the streets traveling, I think it's important to keep some distance between you and the person in front of you. And if you're taking any roundabout turns, if you're going around any corners, just make sure you're going slow. I'd recommend having traction control on as well if your car has it. We don't want anyone ending up in a ditch or on the side of the road. Keep in mind there are snow plows out right now, but if you are home, obviously school was canceled today. If you are home, hunker down. I would not recommend coming out in these conditions because I know it's expected to continue for the immediate future. But Emily, I know you are back comfy in the studio. What can we expect going into tonight and tomorrow? I'll throw it back to you.
Well, thanks, Jack. And as you've said, the wind is what's really getting you when you step outside. So in Bangor, some of those peak wind gusts about 40 miles per hour. Those winds have been stronger in other portions of New England that are actually getting hit harder by this storm, 61 miles per hour in the Boston area. And as you get down into Providence, Rhode Island, 63 miles per hour. But as far as our current winds here in Maine, we're sustained at anywhere between 15 to about 25 miles per hour. Those winds are out of the north. Now, as far as gusts, recently a 39-mile-per-hour gust here in Bangor, 32 miles per hour over in Calais, 31 miles per hour in the Waterville area, and almost 40 miles per hour down in Augusta. So we're going to continue to be dealing with these winds. And, of course, these winds are causing the snow to blow around, which is reducing visibility. So we're down to 1 mile of visibility all the way, pretty much the entire interstate, Holton, Millinocket, down to Bangor, Waterville, Augusta, all dealing with significantly reduced visibility at about 1 mile. And as far as the wind gust forecast for the rest of this evening, so we'll continue to see winds in excess of 40 miles per hour for a lot of the interstate region, coastal and down east areas, at least for another few hours. Winds are gradually going to subside from west to east as we head through the overnight hours as that low pressure system moves away. So by midnight, we'll still have some winds in excess of 30 miles per hour. And then by 5 a.m., you're looking at those winds finally starting to subside in down east regions. Over 30 miles per hour still possible. The rest of us, probably about 25 mile per hour gusts. And then just for the rest of the day on Tuesday, expect a bit of a breeze. Most areas we're talking about gusts to about 25 miles per hour out of the northwest for the day, but we still could have some spots that do make it to about 30 miles per hour. But of course, Kurt will have the full forecast coming up here in just a few minutes, kind of track everything out for you. Brian, I'll pass it back to you.
Winter weather headlines remain in effect this evening, and most notably that blizzard warning extending right along the coast into a good chunk of down east Maine, where winds continue to whip, snow continues to fall, moderately to even heavy at times, and Portland today actually officially meeting blizzard criteria, and that's when you have winds sustained or even gusting 35 miles per hour for 3 hours or more, plus on top of that, visibility has to be down to about a quarter mile or less for 3 hours or more, and they have met that criteria. Nowhere else just yet have met that criteria, but we're not done with this storm system here. Now, as you go farther north and west, you've sort of been on the outer fringes of this snowfall. Also this morning, some dry air locked in place. That kind of delayed the onset of this snowfall, and that in turn has lowered snowfall numbers for a lot of communities away from the coast. Coastal locations, though, it's been snowing for most of the day with some of the heaviest bands of snowfall across currently portions of down east Maine, even a little bit of a steadier batch just to the north and west of the capital region. And there has been a few intermittent breaks, so that snow maybe taking a brief lull here for a few spots, including the Bangor region, maybe becoming a little bit lighter. But the one thing that hasn't quit, that has been those winds, and those will continue to whip here for the remainder of the night. Despite snow coming to an end for most of us by midnight, the winds are going to carry on, gradually weakening tomorrow, but still strong enough to produce some areas of blowing snow. But some of the heaviest snowfall across portions of Washington County, some down east spots. This is where maybe another half a foot or more of snowfall could be potentially on the way before the system does wrap up. So where are we at temperature-wise? We've got teens and 20s on the board. It feels a whole lot colder, yeah, because of these guys, these winds, and these are what have been so problematic today. This will continue to generate areas of blowing snow, reduce visibility, of course, those hazardous travel conditions, and of course cleanup. going to be impacted by these winds. The plow may go by, clear up some of those roads. The winds kick back up, blowing snow back onto some of those roadways. So that will continue to be a problem throughout the day on Tuesday as well. So let's break down these winds for you. So next couple of hours, I think it's going to be the worst of our winds, especially for those interstate towards the coast. Still some potential gusts, 45 to 55 miles per hour will be likely. Maybe even some of the strongest gusts coastal down east communities. And actually down east areas is where you'll continue with winds gusting upwards of 35 to 40 miles per hour as we head into early Tuesday morning as well. So for a lot of us, winds will start to weaken slowly after midnight, and they shift out of the northwest. So that's going to begin to draw in some colder air. But notice through the first half of Tuesday, some winds still continue to gust on average 20 to 30 miles per hour. These winds will not weaken until tomorrow afternoon. So be prepared for some cold wind chill values and, of course, some areas of continued blowing snow throughout the day on your Tuesday. So let's walk you through snowfall amounts and when the system exit on out. So still some light snowfall for our northern western areas, steadiest, heaviest snowfall for the coast and down east. That will continue on for those locations up until midnight, but some far northern and western locations maybe close around 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Snow showers begin to wind down there as that low pressure system departs to our east. So this is storm total. This includes what's already on the ground. And down east areas, I think that's where you're going to see the jackpot. I think there still will be some spots there where in excess of a foot of snow could be possible once things, of course, are all said and done with. But also keep in mind, with the winds, it's going to be hard to get accurate measurements from this system. Tomorrow, teens, 20s, some low 30s. That breeze is going to make it feel colder. And we're not done with the snowfall just yet this week. I know not what you want to hear. Fast-moving clipper system will move through on Wednesday. This will bring us light here, snowfall for Wednesday. And then we're also going to be watching another system Thursday night into Friday. Low-pressure system slips to our south. I think this one is going to be a miss here at this point in time. But for Wednesday, this is Wednesday's snowfall forecast. A couple inches will be possible. Now, if you're ready for a break, well, good news. We've got that coming our way by the end of the week, especially the weekend. Circle Saturday on the calendar. That's looking like a gorgeous day. Mostly sunny skies and highs for many of us that will be well into the 30s and low 40s. We do start to trend a little bit colder. Notice those temperatures coming down by the second half of the weekend. And then by early next week, we could be seeing highs back into the teens and 20s. And with everything going on today, and even for the next couple of days, always good to download the WABI First Alert Weather app, free to do so wherever you get your apps from.
Kurt, thank you very much.